Good morning, y'all. Picked up a couple plants the other day after I cleaned out this east bed, and I decided let me just pop a little bit of color into these containers over here until I really figure out what I really want to do with them. It's a little windy, so I hope you can hear me. Not doing a whole lot here, just kind of doing one type plant in each pot. Nothing like a crazy arrangement or anything like that. Just want to see some color. Just grab my gloves. So we're starting to feel our fall weather. It's pretty hot by the end of the day, up into the upper 80s. And the humidity is still pretty high. We're getting, I guess, up to about, 90% humidity in the evenings, but the mornings are pretty cool and windy. It's probably about 75 degrees right now. We're starting our days out in the 60s, mid to upper 60s, so it's really comfortable in the daytime until about noon or 1 o'clock. So we're supposed to get some rain this afternoon. I figured why not come out here and use this glorious time of the day to get a couple of these things in the ground. Got some worms down here. Had somebody telling me the other day on another YouTube page that worms don't just move into pots because there's nothing in there for them. And that is not true if you are in the right kind of environment. It is warm here, and if you have a pretty rich soil, the worms move into the pots. They find it to be a nice environment to live in. Because they're not going to freeze to death out here. I'm going to put a little bit of plant tone and earthworm castings in here. And just top the pot off with a little bit of potting soil. I don't know how old this dirt is, but it's still pretty dark. I don't typically refresh my soil every time I plant. I just add some fertilizer and top it off. So in this pot, I'm going to do, it's an unbranded salvia, just a red salvia. Put that in here. I've got 3 of them. So I just do 3 of these guys in here. I haven't run drip to these pots yet. I'm gonna get to that hopefully this weekend. Because we're gonna be going out of town soon, and I don't want my neighbors to have to do any watering for me. So I am gonna go ahead and get drip run to these before we head out of town. My next door neighbor does come over and check my plants for me when we go out of town. If anything looks like it needs some water, she'll water them, but I don't want her paying any attention to containers on a daily basis. So I'll get some irrigation run here. See if I can con my husband into it. He typically watches these videos. I won't let him watch them in my presence because I hate my voice and I don't want to listen to the video. But he typically watches the videos. So, Kevin, we need to run some drip this weekend. Alright, I'm just topping this off. I'm using the Miracle Grow Moisture Control potting mix to top these off. This next container, I got a liriope to go in here. And there's no dirt in this one, so this one will be all new soil. Trying to do better about finding different textures to go in my containers and my groupings, because when I go plant shopping, I don't go with any real plan in mind most of the time. It's just kind of like, oh, I feel like going plant shopping, and whatever I see that I like, that's what I buy. And a lot of times it ends up being the same type foliage, or the same color flowers, or the same color foliage, and it's not really what I want. I want to do better about mixing up textures. So I picked up this liriope because it's a strappy leaf, and I know that there's nothing over here strappy. And I will be able to divide this liriope next year and spread it around a bit. I have quite a few liriopes already in the garden, and the majority of them are divisions. I think I originally bought like 6, and I've divided them 3 or 4 times now. I've got 2 pots over here. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in them. I got some other flowers for the front bed. I may put a couple of them, like some marigolds or something in here. We'll see. I would like to get all of the pots planted up today. And I'm just packing this soil down the side so that these roots are covered. Alright, so that's that one. Let's see, I'm going to work this way, because I'm going to have to move the camera for you to see the other pots that are on the other side here. I think you can see this Gaillardia here. The sun is so bright I can't tell whether you can see or not. I guess I'll find out when I edit. There's a frog in here. He's trying to get out. hope he gets out of here. Come on out, Froggy. Where are you? Come on. There you go. Is there another one? There's probably another one buried in here. I saw two hop out. So it's just our one casting against the plateau. Put a little bit too much soil in here, so I gotta try to squeeze it up the sides. That Gaillardia's got some pretty good roots on it. I don't typically rough up roots. I don't find it necessary, especially for annuals, because they aren't going to last that long. Once the heat of our summer sets in, it usually takes the annuals out, because we just can't keep up with the watering. And then in the summer, we are on fertilizer restrictions, so they can't get enough nutrients, and they just kind of shrivel up. So even though most of them would be perennial for us, because the summers are so hot, they just don't make it. Alright. I thought I got all of these the other day. Looks like I left a couple of dead stems on the ferns. What's this one? I'm just trying to make sure I can see them in the camera. Really have anything planned for these. Let's see. I think I have some white pentas and volvulus for over there. I could do some marigolds. Let me grab some marigolds. So funny, I forgot I was recording. My neighbor was walking by with her dog, and he doesn't like me, so it's always this little conversation with him to see if he's gonna bark at me, if he's gonna let me pet him, or whatever. He's such a weirdo. Alright, so I got some marigolds for the front bed, and I'm gonna just put a couple of these in here. Just to fill up the pots. I mean, I just don't want any empty pots. And the other pot I have here, I'm gonna try. I've got got that buttercup that's been in that other pot for a couple years that keeps coming back. I'm going to try moving it into this little blue pot. See how that works out. It'll be two yellow things next to each other, but they're different yellows. The Gaillardia is not quite the same color. So, I don't know. I'll just make sure that whatever I put in the bed, in the ground, is not yellow, because it'll be a little bit too much yellow. If I bring any more yellow, it's stable. Make sure it's stable. Probably only needed 2 of these marigolds for this pot. And I'm going to squeeze in 3. Alright, let me go and get the buttercup to put in this pot. After pulling this up, it's not the healthiest, but it's color, so I'm going to just stick it in here for now, and hopefully I'll find something to go in its place. It comes back every single year, but it's not the healthiest plant. I don't know what's going on with it. Looks like I might have some kind of nematode or something going on. I'm not going to worry about it right now because it's going in a pot. It was in a pot and it's going back in a pot, so let's just call it a whatever for right now. The weeds hiding in here. Where did it go? Sheesh. Now I'm thinking I want to move this. What if I move the rose back and put this one in the front? I don't know, y'all. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna give it some iron tone. Actually, I'm gonna give it some chelated iron because I didn't bring the iron tone out. I brought the chelated iron. Alright, now I gotta move the camera so I can do these other plants over here. Alright, let's see. Can we see here? Looks like we can see. I'm gonna do the evolvulas here. The dirt in this pot does not look very good. It's very sandy, but here's some earthworm castings. I'll do a little bit of plant tone, or a lot. I'm going to do some chelated iron also. Alright, and the last pot is going to be the white pentas. And I chose white pentas for this pot because I had one that survived. It's still doing good, so I'm not going to bother it, not going to change it. I'm going to just add a couple more in here. Y'all, rocks are a pretty top dress, but as that soil gets sucked down into the pot, it becomes not a great idea to have rocks as your top dress, because you end up with a bunch of rocks down at the bottom. I mean, I guess that will help out with your drainage, but when it's time to plant something in there, you got all these rocks to deal with. I'll trim the pepper, so I'm just tossing these rocks over here. There's a lot of rocks in here. The entire top surface was pretty much mulched with rocks. It was pretty. But now it's a thorn in my side. I'll have to try to get these rocks out. Or at least get some of them out. So I can get the others planted. I have to go get another bag of dirt. Little bee. Just don't sting me, because I'm not bothering you. This one is a little crunchy. It's kind of end of season for them in the stores. They are perennial, but you don't find a whole lot of variety of the pences in the stores this time of year. So this one has been in there since spring, pretty much. Spring or summer it came in. But it'll be okay. Let me go get some dirt. Let me go get some dirt. Alright, we're going to put all this stuff back and let's get these things watered. And we'll call this a wrap.